It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk, live from the Golden Q in Hayes. The Golden Q, dining, billiards, and a whole lot more. 2 blocks east of campus. The Golden Q. If the game is on, we're open. Tiger Talk is also brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, expertise, technology, and compassion, all right here. Adams Brown, strategic allies and CPAs. BTI, your John Deere dealer in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. You've never had it so good. G&L Tire and Automotive, complete automotive service and repair, and tires for all driving needs.
And a good Monday afternoon. It is time for Tiger Talk. How you doing? This is Gerard Welbrock, joined by Fort Hays State head football coach Chris Brown. We are live at the Golden Q in Hayes. We'll be talking Fort Hays State football until 1 o'clock, and we are certainly glad to have you a part of it. A rough Saturday for the Tigers. Another close one in Topeka, losing in overtime to the Ichabods, 23-20. Fort Hays State back at home Saturday night, taking on Central Oklahoma. We'll have a preview of the Broncos and, of course, review the game on Saturday with the coach in Topeka. As we mentioned, we're live at the Golden Q, where they have the grilled cheese burger, their normal Monday special, but you can order anything off their menu, which grows each and every week. They've got the burger of the month. They, of course, have drink specials every day of the week, so stop on by. They'll have the Monday Night Football game on, the baseball playoffs as well. They are 2 blocks east of campus, the Golden Q. If the game's on, they're open. You can participate in the program. Send us your question, the Ask the Coach question, through the Fort Hays State Athletics website. And if we use your question, you'll be in the running for a free $25 gift certificate used toward food here at the Golden Q. Pretty easy to do. Go to FHSUathletics.com. Look for Fan Zone. You click on that. You'll get a drop-down menu. You'll see at the bottom, Tiger Talk, Ask the Coach. Submit your question. Again, if we use it, you'll be in the drawing for a gift certificate, a digital gift certificate. The folks at the Golden Q will be in touch with you on that, and you'll get the free food, the $25 gift certificate from the Golden Q. Tigers fall in overtime, as we mentioned, 23-20 in Topeka. We're joined by head coach Chris Brown, and probably should have known it was going to be one of those games. I think it's now 6 out of the last 7 times you've played Washburn. It's been decided by 6 points or less. Another one down to the wire. Entertaining game, but boy, very frustrating one as well.
It is. Coach Sherrick does a great job, getting those guys ready, getting prepared, to play us. And, we try to do the same, and it's always a close matchup. And, 2 pretty similar defenses. And, then offensively, we kind of look at each other. It's very similar as well. And even though I feel like we're pretty different with the things that we do, it looks pretty close to being the same thing. But, no, it was a battle. I mean, we had opportunities to get some things done, and we just didn't get it done. We got to work on those things this week and lock in a little bit more and make sure we're prepared for UCO. But, yeah, we had many opportunities to win that ball game. We just didn't do it.
Yeah, I think that was the term after the game. We used it on the air, and I think you used it on your post-game show. Missed opportunities. A lot of chances to be up at least 2 scores, maybe 10-0, maybe more at halftime, and even in the second half. You cash in on some of those opportunities, and that was the case in Northwest Missouri State. And, you can look at other games this year, the 3 you've lost. It's the missed opportunities that were to kind of glare and stand out.
Yeah, we are our worst own enemy right now, and that's it. I mean, just looking at that game, what if we didn't get the field goal blocked? What if we didn't get up the 2 big plays? What if we recovered a couple of those fumbles? What if we catch 2 balls, inside the red zone and score? It's a totally different ball game. But, what about a couple penalties that we had too that, we don't have those? And just many things that, not hurt us in that game. And games like that, little things can cost you, and that's exactly what it did.
Well, the games like that, and we knew it was going to be a pretty tight one, 2 evenly matched teams, record-wise and just how they played on the field, little things become really, really big things.
Yeah, and they always do, especially in big games like that. Hey, State have teams like Lincoln and Northeastern, guys that are still trying to rise. You can make a mistake and still have an opportunity to win it. But games like these, when you're playing a Northwest or a Kearney or Mo West or eat Washburn and anybody else. I mean, it's going to hurt you and it's going to cost you. And you know that we made more mistakes than they did, and end up biting us in the butt.
Well, I guess now the challenge is the psyche at 3-3 of your team, and probably kind of at a point where it can go one of two ways, and how they handle this will be very important this week.
It is, and it's totally up to them. You know, us as coaches, we're already back to work yesterday and getting a game plan ready and getting locked into what we need to do and how we're going to attack, UCO. But it also comes down to your kids, that we lifted this morning, and we'll find out how that went when I talked to Coach Boucher, and hopefully it went well. But it's the kids' attitude and then what they're going to do from here and moving forward. I mean, still a lot of football to play. Just have a wonderful season of being, could be 8-3, but it's in their hands. It's their choice. It's how they play and the mistake and the choices they make from here on out.
And I think, the expectations going in, if you could somehow find a way to finish 8-3, great season, but just kind of shows the expectations that have been laid for Fort Hays State football. When you got here 8-3, they're having a parade down Main Street because for a great season. Now it's disappointing, which is a good problem to have, but obviously that bar has been raised a little bit higher for everybody.
It is. It's we as coaches and hopefully as players expect to win conference championships and expect to get ourselves into the playoffs. And granted, some of that stuff is probably not going to happen every year just because how tough our conference is, but those are the expectations. And I think as a program and as a coach, those are the things that you want. You want that stress. You want, that the fans and the crowd and our community to expect those wins as well. And when it's 8-3, it's still pretty decent, but it's still not good enough for us. So we got to find a way to at least try to get to 8-3. And then who knows if there's bowl games or things like that going on. We will accept a bid if we get one.
All right. Well, a lot of work still to go. A lot of football still to be played, and we'll see how the Tigers fare as they get set to return home. We are live at the Golden Q in Hays, 2 blocks east of campus. They've got the grilled cheeseburger special on this Monday Night Football tonight. Baseball playoffs throughout the day today. So stop on by. It's the Golden Q. The game's on. They're open. We've got more Tiger Talk after the break here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction. Fuller takes the snap. Here's the blitz. Chance throws. He's got Butke wide open. Touchdown, Fort Hays State. Hunter Butke with a 6-yard touchdown catch. And Fort Hays State scores on the opening drive. He got by Peebler in the end zone. And it's 6-0 Tigers with 3:06 to go in quarter number 1. Well, it capped off what turned out to be a 14-play, 72-yard scoring drive. Gave the Tigers the lead, but they go on to lose in overtime at Washburn on Saturday, 23-20. Tiger Talk brought to you by Golden Belt Bank of Hays and Ellis, here to make every story shine brighter. It's the way they do banking, one story at a time. You can check them out at goldenbeltbank.com. It was kind of a weird game in the sense that the 2 highest scoring offenses in the conference going into that one. There were 3 possessions in the first quarter. You had that long drive. That was the only time you had the ball in the entire quarter. They went for it on 4th down a couple of times on their opening possession, failed on 4th near the end zone. You got them stopped on downs, but it really wasn't for how the 2 teams have played up to that point the type of game that I think a lot of people expected going in.
Yeah, when you look at the stats across the board, I mean, offensively we were very similar in yards per game and points per game, and then defensively we were very similar as well. I just think both defense really, in this game stepped up and did things, and I think both offenses had some opportunities to do some things and just didn't take advantage of them. So, but 2 very similarly matched teams, and you saw it in the ballgame. It came down to the very end.
How much did them going for it on 4th down a couple of times on that first possession, that change your guys' approach at all?
Not offensively, you know. If it's 3rd and 1, and and we get it, I feel pretty good about it. There's a couple of 4th down ones, but when you don't get on 3rd and 1, you're not really feeling too good about going for it on 4th and 1. If it's 3rd and 4, and all of a sudden you get it to 4th and 1, you feel a bit more comfortable. And hey, this is a situation. Let's go for it. So really, it didn't really factor into too much, but just defensively, maybe sometimes the things that you call.
And I guess that's probably the disappointing. You did go for a couple of times on 4th down and were successful, but you had a couple of 4th and 1 opportunities. You mentioned the one you were stopped on 3rd and 1 and opted not to go. And that's probably the frustrating part, because it felt like the offensive line had made some progress last week and was playing well, and you like to think with the size and the experience you have up there that you could get that 1 yard when you needed to, but that was a big 3rd down play, because I think that was eventually led to the missed field goal.
Yeah, it's huge, and we got to get those. If I feel really good and I know that we're going to get it, I'm going to go for it on 4th down, just because I just didn't feel like we were. I thought if there's a few of our linemen that, in that game played really, really well, but then there's a couple that you're like, man, they're not winning right now. And then if you're not winning, it makes you a little bit nervous to go for it. But, the 3rd downs, any 3rd and 1, we should get that. That just should be set in stone, whether you're the running back or the old lineman. If we're running the ball, we are going to get that 1st down no matter what. If I got to put my head down and be my own blocker, then I get it done as well. And, we just, I don't know, I just, in that game again, I just didn't think we played real physical. I really didn't. And, and that leads to kind of a lot of our decisions on what we do.
Well, and you see it in the stats. You had been running the ball so well. Now, granted, Washburn's a much better team than a few of those, but you were held to 67 yards on the ground. You'd gone over 200, well over 200 in the 3 wins prior to that, and kind of some of it goes back to that physicality. Some of that is just attitude, and it was hard to get your guys going.
That's it. It's just your mentality. Once you get to the line of scrimmage, are we going to get this or are we not? Are we going to get the job done? Are we going to blow them off the ball? And I didn't feel like we were really truly doing that. I didn't think our backs were really getting downhill like they should have as well. And there's a few holes there that they miss. If they hit those holes, it's a 10-15 yard gain, but it just wasn't clicking for some reason. And I don't know, we got to find a way to get these guys more tuned in and more locked in. I tried so many different things, but at some point, we just have to mature and grow, and those kids got to start figuring some things out on their own.
3 total possessions in the first half of that game. You had the long scoring drive, then you had the punt near midfield, and then you had that last drive, and we talked about it, got it down to the 6, but had to settle for the field goal try, and then had the field goal blocked. That was a big swing in the game. You had a chance. Obviously, you see it at the end. You could have been going for, had the lead instead of the tie there at the end. But just the momentum of going in the locker room up by 2 possessions, or if you can find a way to score a 2-touchdown lead, totally changes the feel of that game for the way it was being played in the first half.
It does, and then we come out and we get the ball back, and if we go down and score right then and at least make it 17-0 or even 13-0, it's in our favor, and we didn't get the job done. Even that said, we were down there. We had opportunities in that possession to score touchdowns, and we still, especially with the big play to Josh. That's a huge play. That should be a lot of momentum built right there. Guys getting to the ball. Hey, let's go get this done. But we still didn't punch it in the end zone. And then, I thought Fernando did a great job kicking. For us, he did an excellent job in that game for us, and got us on the board and tied the game up for us, and got the overtime. Those are tough situations, but he did a good job doing it. But we got to get points. Anytime we're in the red zone, we have to find a way to get points.
And you've been doing a pretty good job of that this season, certainly. You mentioned Josh Okechukwu. His best game as a Tiger, I think he had 6 receptions in the first 4. He did not play in one of them. So the 4 games he had played in, he had 6 total catches. He had 5 for, I think, 105 yards on Saturday. He's a big receiver, junior college transfer. Boy, how many times you see that? It just takes a while. I think he even said after the game, maybe now finally starting to feel a bit more comfortable with the offense and the coordination and timing with Chance at quarterback.
It is, and it does take time. There's a lot that goes into an offense, and learning formations, and because they're always in different spots, and then learning, the route concepts, and then what formation are we in? What's the route concept? Because each position is doing something different, and you have to do that to mix things up on the defense and put guys in different spots to win, and he's starting to figure those things out. So you can have a little more patience with those guys, but the guys that have been here, have been through it, and have done it, it's hard to have patience with them when they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. But with him, I think he's starting to really truly figured out, and he's getting better. He still had a few mistakes, in that game, but I think as this year goes on, he's going to be more of a weapon for us.
Well, I will say he's got a very, very nice beard. He's got a tremendous deep voice, so I'm very envious of Josh. And a great, great young man. A little bit we visited with him, but the beard and the voice got me a little jealous of him. We're at the bottom of the hour. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
With a combination of Kaiser Liquor and Fort Hays State Athletics, you're sure to be into something good. Kaiser Liquor and 14 KEYS Hayes.
Tiger Talk is brought to you by G&L Tire and Automotive. They've got tires for all driving conditions and budgets, along with the complete automotive service and repair. That's G&L Tire and Automotive. They're just east of 8th and Main on the Bricks in downtown Hayes. We're live at the Golden Q. It's Tiger Talk on this Monday. We'll take another break. Be back with more here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
Fact: 8th Street Liquor is where good times start. Next fact: 8th Street Liquor has the best selection and prices on beer, liquor, and wine. Okay, I don't want to bore you with all the facts, but the fact of the matter is, you just can't get better than 8th Street Liquor. Yep, 8th Street Liquor, where good times start. That's the fact. Jack? Oh yes, they have plenty of Jack too.
Down lineman for Fort Hays State. Inside 2 to go into third. Schurig bobbles the snap. Has time in the pocket. Now it crumbles and down he goes. Javaris Sanders grabs him and brings him to the turf. His second sack of the game. And Fort Hays State getting to Mitch Schurig, and they sack him on third down. And more of the action from Saturday at Yager Stadium in Topeka. Tigers fall in overtime to Washburn 23-20. We're live at the Golden Q, where it's the grilled cheeseburger special for your lunch throughout the day here on this Monday. But they've got, of course, a great selection of burgers, the best around, plus a lot of other menu items. They've really expanded that over the years. So stop on by. Monday Night Football tonight. Of course, watch the baseball playoffs as well. They're on throughout the day here at the Golden Q, where they always say if the game's on, they're open. Tigers lose in overtime at Washburn Saturday. Had a 7-0 lead at the break, and I'm guessing that first possession in the third quarter, obviously you go 3 and out. Highly disappointing for you. I think the only 3 and out you had all day. But to have the lead and then get the ball and do nothing with it, you had a chance to really kind of insert your will, if you will, and take control of that football game. Because even though it was only 7-0, it felt like you guys were in control in that first half.
Yeah, it did. And, we saw opportunities to score points and do some things, and, we didn't in the first half. And then we came out the second half, and we were flat. And it's just, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out everything and trying to find out the pulse of this team and, what gets them going, what doesn't get them going, and all these little different things. But, there's no excuses. We got to come out and play hard, play physical for 4 quarters, and that's something that we have not been able to do since all season long.
We heard that highlight, that sack, Javaris Sanders' second sack of the day. You guys had 6 quarterback sacks. Defensively, you got pressure on Mitch Schurig. I think you kept him uncomfortable. He was able to hit on a couple of big plays, which turned to be pivotal in this game. But, boy, to waste a 6 sacks performance is kind of disappointing.
It is, and it's just, it's the most frustrating, just giving up those easy ones. There were, those easy touchdowns and not making them earn it all the way down, that hurts you. And, but I still thought defensively, up front on the D-line, we know we did do some good things. But, it's just the big plays that we got to eliminate, defensively, and then offensively. We need to start hitting on some of those big plays because that's something that we haven't really been truly doing.
And they're a frustrating defense in a sense, and you touched on it last week. Even though you said it earlier, they keep the play in front. They play their safeties deep. They really build everything on not giving up the big play. It's hard to get a lot of momentum, although, which is some of the reasons there's long scoring drives, but it was hard to find. You got a couple. Josh had the 50-some yarder. He had the big touchdown catch as well, but they really limit that ability to strike big plays against them.
Yeah, they do. They stay deep. The corners played pretty, soft, and their safeties are playing soft. Linebackers are kind of, in definite pass situations are off the ball, and, they do make you force you to throw it underneath, but again, those situations, catch the ball, let's make somebody miss and go make a big play, and that's just something that we didn't do.
their two big pass plays, after you go 3 and out, they come back and score on their first drive to tie the game up. 35-yard TD pass to Letcher, and then they got in the fourth quarter, their first possession of the fourth, they got that 65-yard pass to Peter Affle, in which I think Jaiman was right there. It's almost a jump ball. He took it away, but then scored because of it. But what happened on those two big touchdown passes?
Just, in position, right? We're really and truly in position, and we just, didn't make the play. I mean, we're there to make the plays, and it's instead of us getting the ball out, they caught it. And, Jaiman's was tough on the sideline. Both of them were hand fighting, and, you could probably call pass interference on offense or defense, in that situation as well. But the official did a good job of, hey, coach, they're hand fighting, they're both getting after it, and, we just got beat. And so those are just things that, you can't allow to happen, and we got to start winning those battles.
It seems like, from what we've observed in the conference, it's hard to get a pass interference call, but a lot of times they are both jockeying and jostling, if you will, down the field. And as long as both are doing it, it seems like the crews this year are more apt to let that go as opposed to calling interference.
I mean, they let you play,
Which I guess is what you want.
Is what you want, as a defensive guy for sure. You want to let you play a little bit, but when two guys are fighting for a ball and trying to get in position, I mean, they're doing a good job of just letting those guys battle it out, and the winner wins. And, we ended up losing on a couple of those, and it hurt us.
I want to ask you on one of the scenarios, I think it was your first possession of the fourth quarter after they score. That was a big 65-yard pass. The kick goes out of bounds. You end up having to burn a timeout in a tight game. I think it was 17-14, you were down at the time. You had to call a timeout on trying to run your play after that kickoff went out of bounds. I know there was a lengthy discussion over by your sideline. Jonathan Zweigert was trying to listen in, but he stayed behind the dotted line. What was that all about when they took? Because that ended up being it kind of killed some momentum, and you had to burn a timeout, and it took a close game in the second half. We know how precious those are.
So this is something I'm going to look in myself.
Okay.
You think I would know this, being a football coach, but you also think the officials would know this as well. But so when the ball was kicked out of bounds, we were asked what position on the field that we wanted the ball. When they ask you what position, it's what hash. The hash, the uprights, the middle of the post, the other upright, or the far hash. So position 1 is the press box, home press box side hash, and it kind of goes from there. Mm-hmm. Well, we always like to be on our sideline, so we said position 5, and he asked me and he asked our offensive coordinator the same question, and then they put the ball on the far hash. And so we're trying to have the discussion of, we were asked what position we wanted, and it's not there. And so I called timeout, and then the official then said it has to be on that hash because that's where it went out of bounds. So that's something I need to check into and dig a little bit deeper to see exactly if that's the rule or if it's not the rule.
Well, it's interesting they asked you what position, and then turned out that it has to be. And that's a good point. I don't, top of my head, remember. If it always goes on the side, the ball's kicked out of bounds. When it happens so infrequently, but that is a good question. But you could tell it through. I mean, Chance, and I'm sure you had a play call that was set up for the ball to be on the other side of the field, and that changes that play. And you could tell right away when the clock was getting down and Chance had to call the timeout, he was frustrated and trying to get an explanation from the official.
Yeah, and it is frustrating, because you got something said and you feel pretty good about it, and then all of a sudden, you have to basically waste a timeout because everything was messed up. If I was never asked that question, we would have had the formation the way we wanted it, and we would have moved forward. But when you get those questions asked, you just answer the question the way you wanted it.
Yeah, there's always things like that pop up in a game. Tiger Talk brought to you by Adams Brown. They do more than just run numbers and file tax returns. They work hard to become strategic allies. Adams Brown, strategic allies and CPAs. You can still chime in. We'll get to some of our questions we had submitted throughout the week, but you can still do that. Go to FHSUathletics.com. Look for Fan Zone. Click on that. You get a drop-down menu. You'll see Tiger Talk Ask the Coach, and if we use your question, you'll be in the running for a gift certificate for $25 of free food here at the Golden Q in Hayes. Tiger Talk from the Golden Q. We'll take another break. More with the coach, including some of those questions that were submitted. We'll get to those here in a little bit on Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here.
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
Do you believe in love? Glory days. Well,
94.3 94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
It's a downfield, and it's going to be caught by Ramsey at the 50. It's a first down. A lob over two defensive backs. Peyton Lane the tackle, but it's a first down all the way up to the 47-yard line. Yeah, that was a big 35-yard pass. Got the Tigers out near midfield on their proved to be their final scoring drive of regulation. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We are at the Golden Q in Hayes, 2 blocks east of campus. If the game's on, they're open. Tiger Talk also brought to you by the Hayes Orthopedic Institute. Expertise, technology, and compassion all right here. The Hayes Orthopedic Institute, they're the official team physicians for Fort Hays State Athletics. That was a beautiful touch pass by Chance. He got it over 2 defenders, and Manny caught it falling backwards, got it out to midfield. You would move it all the way down to the 14. I know that was frustrating. You couldn't punch it in for a score, and Manny had a drop, and Hunter Butke had it down to the 2, and he'll catch that probably 99 out of 100 times. He's been such a great receiver, great tight end this year. 2 of the guys you'd want to be targeted in that situation. Just unfortunate they could not come up with a play. Probably you start to score, but you feel pretty good about maybe winning that game if they make those catches.
Yeah, you do. You got yourself in a great situation. We did a good job of using the clock up, on the way down to get in that position, and we get it on the 2 and or the 7, either one of those, and the clock's still running, and we still get to run a few more time off the clock, but both those balls should have been caught. I mean, those are ones that need to be caught, and those are times that you need to make the play and make it happen, and we just didn't make the play.
Yeah, and credit, to the offense. You were down 3. You had a possession after they had scored. You had to punt it, but then you got a big stop for them, and you kind of had a feeling that was going to be it. If that was going to either force overtime or win the game, this is going to be your last chance. And to their credit, they put together a long drive, and he eventually got that field goal for Fernando Avila Castro with under a minute to go. And you kind of touched on him. He had the 1 block, but 2 pressure kicks, and that's obviously compared to what Fort Hays State has been used to in the kicking game for the last decade. Those were pressure situations, and he came through. There were no doubters when he got him up.
No, there wasn't. He was right straight through the center, and he's done a great job in practice, and you can tell he's really been working, on his kicks, because as a kicker, it's kind of hard to during practice because your special teams coach is actually also a position coach at our level. So, they go into the indoor and kick field goals and do different drills and things like that. And you can tell he's really been truly working on that and really focusing in. And we needed those, and he got it done. I just wish we could have got that one in the first half and not get blocked, and then who knows, this game probably doesn't even go to overtime.
And then you get it to overtime, and had to settle for the field goal, and that's always, the frustrating part. You obviously try to, if you can win the toss, defer to know what you have to do, and wanted to score a touchdown, obviously, but had to settle for the field goal, and then you knew the pressure was going to be on the defense there to close that thing out.
Yeah, you did, and and the defense did a good job of getting it to 3rd down. Even 3rd and long, I believe, is what it was, and we're playing a coverage that everybody should know. Our corner gets a little bit too wide on the receiver, and he throws it in underneath him and scores a touchdown. And that's a great catch by that kid.
Yeah.
Hard throw. Good throw by Mitch, but it was even a better catch by the receiver. Because that's a hard one to get to.
Yeah, about the only he put it where it was going to be Letcher to catch it or nobody else. And it seemed like they had some success getting that inside leverage on some of those slant patterns.
Yeah, they did, and then we just got to be a little bit harder, on those than what we are right now. I think we just. A couple of young guys that, they are true freshmen that are playing right now, and they're still trying to figure it out and trying to play confident. I'm sure they're pretty nervous and pretty tight, but, they have enough experience now that, we need them to start making those plays for us.
We did get a few questions submitted throughout the week. We're going to go ahead and get to those now. Of course, you can do that any time of the week. If something comes on your mind you want to ask the coach, just, again, go to FHSUathletics.com. Click on Fan Zone. You get a drop-down menu, and then Ask the Coach, Tiger Talk, Ask the Coach there near the bottom, and submit your question. Kind of appropriate after playing Washburn. You've played Kearney. They weren't listed on this, but over your 10 years as the Tigers head coach, who do you consider to be your biggest in-state rival, which is why Kearney's not on there, but the biggest in-state rival, Emporia, Washburn, or Pitt? That might be hard to answer.
It is, because there's 2 of those I've been at, right?
Yeah.
I played at Pitt, and I got my degree from there, and that's kind of where I got my start, not really, I never really coached there, but just kind of learning from those coaches as well. And then Coach Shurig at Washburn offered me a job, and and that was my first real college job. So I mean, pick or choose either one of those.
Well,
two,
we know one thing. If you're at Pitt or you're in Washburn, you didn't like Emporia, so we made the process of elimination. It's probably Emporia State.
And Higgins never called. I don't know. Maybe that's it. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I like him. I mean, I like Coach Higgins at Emporia. I like Coach Shurig at Washburn. Don't really know the Pitt State guy too well, but I mean, I really. It'd have to be probably between Washburn and Pitt, just because I played, one and coached at the other. And I know it's always fun to beat some of the guys that you coached with or used to coach you as well.
Well, and we could see after the game the mutual respect that you and Coach Shurig has. Hard not to like Coach Shurig and the job he's done at Washburn. They're all-time winningest coach, and they've been a consistent winner. Kind of like what you built here at Fort Hays State, and seems like a pretty good guy. I'm guessing when it's that game week, that's who you want to beat, and it's at least for me, it seems like whenever you play them all three, whatever it is, that's the biggest rival at that time.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But Craig, he's a wonderful guy. I mean, he gave me my first opportunity. He taught me a lot, not just about football, but about life and those things too. And even when he was at Pitt, he even coached me at Pitt as well. So we've kind of have a long history together. But love the guy more than anything, and I'll do anything for him and his family. They got a wonderful family as well. And I don't know. I just want to give him a shout-out and thank him for all he does. And then even Zach Watkins,
congratulations to him. Yeah, that's cool.
Got inducted to the Hall of Fame there at Washburn, where he coached here for a while, too. So just great people. They really are.
I thought it was funny. I can't remember. There was a situation in the game, and the officials were having a discussion, and Chance was talking to Coach Watkins. I think he was explaining what was going on but it was neat to see. There's obviously a respect there, and certainly well deserved to their Hall of Fame. He did a great job at Fort Hays State. Got that opportunity to go back to Topeka, but always like Coach Watkins.
Yep, always do. He's a great one.
One other question: what is gotta be careful how we ask this? Maybe the Tiger football drink of choice on the sidelines, and not what you wanted to drink on Saturday as that progressed, but I'm sure it's more on the lines. Is it water? Is it Gatorade? Or what do you guys do?
There's a mixture of both. There's water and there's Gatorade, and so it's really kind of whatever the kid prefers at that time. And we tried to do both. That way the kids will get some electrolytes as the game goes on. That way they're not cramping up and things like that. But it's a mixture of them. And the bottles you see with tape on them are Gatorade, and the bottles that don't have tape on them are water. So sometimes I grab one or other, and sometimes I'll have both of them just to get a little bit of a mixture.
Well, there you go. Some of the insight. Of course, Gatorade, developed by the University of Florida for the football, and those electrolytes always important. Didn't see as much, and it was a hot day. It was a warm day. I mean, for that time of the year in October to be right there at 90, didn't see a lot of cramping, which sometimes you do see.
But Nate, our trainer, does an excellent job of making sure that we are properly hydrated, before every game. Just the different type of drinks that we have. There are some things called Gatorlights now, which is like a Gatorade that has electrolytes and stuff in it, and making sure we have them properly hydrated before we even get there on game day, with just the travel and the meals and all that stuff, making sure they stay hydrated.
Tiger Talk brought to you by the Taco Shop. Dine in, carry out, fast delivery, 625-7114, or you can use their handy Taco Shop app. The Taco Shop, you've never had it so good. We're going to take our final break. We'll preview this Saturday night's game, final night game of the year. Tigers hosting the Broncos of Central Oklahoma. We'll talk about it next when we return to the Golden Q. It's Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, real country. 99 KZ Country.
This is going to be a 31-yard attempt for Fernando Avila Castro. It would match his career long that he had at Bethany. Ball on the right hash. Snap down. There's the hold. There's the kick from Avila Castro. It's got the distance, and it is good. He knocked it through. Fernando Avila Castro, just his second made field goal goal of the season, but the Tigers have tied it up with 58 seconds to go in the game. Yeah, 31-yarder tied his career long when he kicked to Bethany and hit a 33-yarder in the overtime, but Fort Hays State falls short to Washburn. BTI is your area John Deere dealer. They've got locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family, in partnership with your family. Before we get to Central Oklahoma, take a preview look at the Broncos. We did have one other question, well, kind of a two-parter submitted. And again, you can do that. Go to FHSUathletics.com. We've told you how you can submit your question. But do you have any game day traditions? Kind of goes along with maybe what's a drink on the sideline, but any game day traditions, drink, food, or something that you always go to? And then kind of a follow-up, is it different when you're at home as opposed to when you're on the road?
Not really. I mean, get up and kind of go through my little Bible app in the morning. You know, we do always have like a little Bible plans that I always go through in the morning. Listen to a little Christian music and pray a little bit, and then I just take a shower and get myself ready to go. But I do always have sometimes one rock star, sometimes two rock stars. Just to kind of get the energy going just a little bit. But for me, as a team though too, we always have a chapel, 4.5 hours before the game, and then, sometimes Drew Gannon does that for us at home, and on the road I do it. And then this last game against Washburn, Lake Heimerman did it, which was awesome to hear him do it, with our kids. And then 4 hours, then when he's done, we have pregame meal, and then we're at the field 2.5 hours before the game. So that's kind of the routine. And then at that point, I get out there and I kind of walk the field. On the road, I'll walk the field just to kind of see if there's any areas that are concerned, or how the wind's blowing in that area as well, and just kind of just looking around the stands and seeing if there's anything that is out of array, but not really too much. But just, there's a few little quirky things in there, but lock in, stay loaded, and get our kids ready. And just some final thoughts before the game with myself of just going through different scenarios and different situations that could arise in the game, and make sure I'm prepared for those.
Well, Central Oklahoma this week, by the way, we thank you for the question. You'll be registered for that gift certificate from the Golden Q. Central Oklahoma got off to a tough start. They were 1-3. Now they've won 2 in a row, and they've been putting up points, 52 points average in the last 2 wins. But they're now 3-3, and you're going to face another running quarterback in Stephon Brown. I think he leads the MIAA in rushing touchdowns with 7 this year. But a big challenge on a team that is playing with some confidence right now, Central Oklahoma.
They are, and they're playing well right now. And just watching them play and the things that they're doing, whether it's defensively or offensively, they're going to give us some troubles, and we just got to get our kids prepared for it. There's going to be some coverage things that our offense hasn't seen yet, and excuse me, we're going to have to really hone in on those and find some routes and some keys for a chance to throw to, and then even their D-line, they do some things defensively that that we've seen a little bit of, but not a lot. But it's just getting locked in and loaded. And then offensively, it might be a 2-quarterback system. You never know.
You play both.
So we'll see what happens there. When one's in, it's going to be more of a run. The other one's in, it's more pass. So being prepared for 2 different offenses.
What Brown compared to? You saw in Kearney's quarterback, T.J. Davis, such a great runner and passer. When Brown's in there and runs, is it a different style? What kind of style of runner is he?
He's more of a power runner, right. I think. TJ, he's just going to make you miss and run by you and make you look funny and break your ankles and things like this. Kid, he's just going to try to run over you. He's got enough agility to kind of make you miss, but he's strong and powerful. All
right, Coach. Well, have a great week of practice. You'll know we'll get the ship righted, and we'll be back on track, hopefully with a good win Saturday night.
Thanks, Gerard. Appreciate you.
Head coach Chris Brown of the Tigers, and that's going to wrap it up. Tigers in action. That's a final night game, 7 o'clock on Saturday. We're on the air at 6 with the Auto World pregame show. Reminder, we'll have volleyball on KAYS, 5:45 pregame on Friday. Tigers and Missouri Southern, then football on Saturday. Tiger Talk brought to you by Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, Adams Brown, The Taco Shop, BTI, Hayes Orthopedic Institute, G&L Tire and Automotive, and of course, the Golden Q. If the game's on, they're open. That's going to wrap it up for Coach Chris Brown, Gerard Walbrock. So long, everyone.